In this video, we'll show you how to use the Liquify tool. This is a filter, and you can use it to take a nice, wonderful picture of the Muppets here and turn it into something that looks like this. Nice. That must have taken a really long time. Actually, with the Liquify tool, you can do it pretty quickly, and it's a lot of fun. So to start, make sure your Layers palette is open. If you don't see the layers, go up here to Window, and halfway down it says Layers. Click on that. Once your layers is open, you want to take this and duplicate it. To do it, you'll see an icon next to the trash can. It looks like a folded page corner. Take this and drop it on there, and that will duplicate your layer. We're going to modify this top layer, so I'm going to change the name. I'll call it Layer 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to liquefy it. So go up here to Filter and click on the word liquefy, and it says shortcut Shift Command X. And once you have it open, you'll see a bunch of tools here. If you just hold the arrow over it, a little yellow box will pop up. So the top one is Forward Warp. Second one is Reconstruct. Let's just start with those two to begin. So with Forward Warp, if you grab something like the corner of Kermit's mouth, you can go ahead and stretch that out like that. If I want to, Miss Piggy, if I want to make her smile, I could drag up the corners. And let's say I mess something up, like I want to go back to how Miss Piggy used to look. The second button here is called Reconstruct. You click on that, and if you just kind of take this brush over that part of her, it'll return it to normal. In this case, I'm going to go over to the right side where it says Restore All, and I'm going to click on that, and that's going to reset it to the original picture. Some other tools that you can use are twirl. So if I click on this and let's try Miss Piggy's left eye, you kind of twirl it like that. You can do Command Z to go backwards. To click here, this is the pucker tool. So let's say I think Kermit's mouth is too big. If I click here, then I can go ahead and shrink his mouth. Interesting. If I want Miss Piggy's eyes to be bigger, underneath the pucker tool, there's this next tool, and this is called the bloat tool. And so I'd put this over her left eye and over her right eye, and suddenly her eyes are much bigger. Now you don't want to get too crazy with this, because if you, let's say on this guy, if I just hold it down like that, you get a big black hole, which doesn't really look very artistic. So be smart about how you use these tools. So over on the left, there's some other tools such as the push left tool. There's the mirror tool. So if you click on something, it will make like a mirror image of it. And so all these other tools, you just have to kind of play around and see what works for you. What I want to focus on is using the main tools I showed you at the beginning and how to adjust the brush size so you get the effect that you're looking for. Okay, right now you can see my brush over the letter P and the word Muppets. I'm going to shrink it. If you look on your keyboard, next to the letter P on your keyboard, there are two buttons. The one on the left is a bracket key, and that's what I'm using to shrink the brush. Now if I take this over the letter P and I use the warp tool, let's say I grab the top, the P, it's just going to drag kind of like a little tiny line here. Okay, so let's do Command Z a couple times and take that off. Now I'm going to make a bigger brush. Now if I pull the top of the P again, it's going to kind of stretch the whole thing. So the brush size makes a huge difference on the effect you get. Now if I have the whole letter P covered, it takes the whole letter and kind of moves it. So the secret to this whole Liquify tool is how big you make your brush, because it will affect how things bend. So that's with the warp tool. If I'm using the pucker tool, if I put like a really huge brush over Kermit's mouth, remember pucker makes it smaller, then it goes like that, but you can also see I got part of the neck. So let's do Command Z on that. Let's do a smaller brush over Kermit's mouth. So now I'm shrinking it down closer to around his tongue. And now I use pucker again. And you notice it's just doing the tongue area. So the outside of the mouth has been unaffected. So make sure that you adjust the brush size properly. And quite frankly, it takes a little experimentation to figure out what works for you.